you own it. Let every mile bring a smile, yeah.
You've built the business, you're crushing it in your career, you've scaled your impact, but are you winning at home?
Welcome to the 200% Marriage Podcast. We're Meredith and Craig, and we're here to help you kill that domestic drag and turn your partner into your most elite teammate.
From Russian taxi mishaps to hailstorms on the summit, we're sharing the raw and real stories and tactical drills you need to move out of roommateville and into your 200% life.
So grab your gear. It's time to build an unstoppable team. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to another episode of the 200% Marriage Podcast. We are continuing to read the book, The 200% Marriage, Your Winning Playbook to Be an Unstoppable Team. We are going through the book chapter by chapter, reading the chapter that we each wrote. And so we're going to do chapter 7 today. And then we are going to have a conversation about it.
A little chit-chat, if you will.
Little chit-chat about, we'll see what comes up. It'll be a surprise. We have no idea. You'll learn as we do. We'll learn with you. Chapter 7, just own your shit. Everything is my fault. Now what? Mark Manson. Whenever we share the idea of the 200% marriage mindset on podcasts or TV shows, someone inevitably misunderstands what we mean. They assume it's about 100% effort. Like we're saying you each have to give 100% of your maximum effort always, 24/7, no days off. That's not it. Don't get me wrong, effort is essential. Some days you're going to have more to give than other days. And the mark of an unstoppable team is that you both give whatever you have on that particular day and you pick up the slack for your teammate when required. Some days you're going to feel like your tank is full. And on that day, that's your 100%. On other days, you're only working with half a tank. So on that day, that's your 100%. Other days may feel like a struggle to get out of bed and put on pants. So on that day, that's your 100%. So yes, effort counts, but the 200% marriage mindset isn't about squeezing every last drop of effort out of yourself every day. It's deeper than that. It's about responsibility. You are responsible for the current state of everything in your life, what you've chosen, the actions you've taken, and where you are right now, sitting here listening to this book with us. At first, that could sound heavy. And if you're not where you want to be in life, it might feel downright discouraging to think, this is all on me. But in reality, that approach is freedom. Because if you're responsible for it all, then you're also in control. You get to change your situation from this point forward. It's empowering to know you control your future, that you are 100% responsible for everything in your life today and everything that will be in your life tomorrow. Now imagine if you and your teammate both show up in your marriage with the 200% marriage mindset. Each of you saying, I own my stuff. I take responsibility for my words, my actions, and how I am showing up in this relationship. That's when the whole game changes. Your mindset doesn't change your circumstances. It changes how you experience them. What you look for, you'll find and get more of. Look for things to be grateful for, you'll find them. Look for ways to grow together, and suddenly there are more opportunities than you thought. When you adopt the 200% marriage mindset, you see the good, you take responsibility, and it becomes easier to be happy and connected. Your marriage starts to feel easier, even if adopting that mindset feels uncomfortable or challenging at first. Here's a situation we hear from clients all the time. A wife says, my husband won't open up. He never shares what he's thinking or feeling. Most of the time, that complaint is followed by blame or frustration stemming from her husband's closed-off nature and her feeling disconnected from him. But when she leads with a 200% marriage mindset, she starts by taking 100% responsibility, which means looking inward first and asking herself, what am I doing or not doing that makes him feel unsafe to open up to me? At the same time, her husband takes 100% responsibility, examines why he might struggle to open up, and works to understand and remove those barriers so he can begin to share his feelings with his wife and feel more connected. He could ask himself, this clearly matters to my wife. Why does it feel so hard to share? What's blocking me? Am I willing to look at it honestly? You'll notice that both of them are approaching the situation from a place of curiosity. Curiosity is such an underrated superpower in your relationship. Curiosity is about understanding, seeking knowledge. It doesn't come from judgment. Instead, it comes from a genuine desire to understand and improve. When you each get curious about the part you play in any given situation, and you always play a part in every situation, and then you work to address it, everything changes. So let's continue to play with that example. The wife might realize, oh, the last time he tried to open up, I was busy and distracted and I brushed him off. That probably didn't feel very good for him. No wonder he hasn't tried again. I need to own that, apologize, and show him I value what he shares. Meanwhile, the husband might realize, yes, she dismissed me last time, but I never explained how much her actions hurt me. I just shut down. Maybe she has no idea. And she was in the middle of doing something else when I tried to have that conversation with her. Am I really willing to hold on to that hurt forever and never share with her again? Or can I trust that she loves me, tell her the truth, and give her the chance to show up differently? Different outcomes from each of them, but both are rooted in personal responsibility. Now, let's be clear. This isn't easy. We made it seem neat and tidy for the sake of the story. In real life, this is going to be hard, uncomfortable, and take a lot of practice. We're here to hit you with straight facts. We won't bullshit you. This level of vulnerability and honesty is going to take practice, patience, and a whole lot of grace as you figure it out. Sometimes it's messy. Oftentimes, in the beginning especially, you won't nail it, and you'll backslide to old scorekeeping habits. That's normal. You're both human. When it happens, take responsibility, apologize, and then try again. Because over time, if both of you keep showing up this way, each taking 100% responsibility instead of pointing fingers at each other, you stop playing the who's right game. There is no being right on an unstoppable team. There's only responsibility. And in a marriage, there's always plenty of responsibility to go around. When you fully adopt the 200% marriage mindset, you will both feel as though you're in it together, no matter what it is. A 200% marriage is not about perfect effort or flawless execution. It's about owning your part every time and trusting your teammate to do the same. That's the foundation of a truly unstoppable team. When each of you takes full responsibility, your marriage stops being a tug of war and becomes the rocket fuel to take your life to infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
That was perfect acting. Call you Buzz.
Oh, I love that chapter.
So this is an interesting one because it does address a fundamental misunderstanding or misconception that we hear all the time, is that it's always about effort and everyone giving 100%. I give 100%, you give 100%, and that's what makes a 200% marriage. The effort it goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're always giving effort.
Mm-hmm.
And to our point in the book, effort is on a scale.
It's a sliding
scale.
Yeah.
Some days this is 100%, some days this is 100%, and some days it's way in the middle. But it's not about the effort. Let's just assume that we're always giving our best effort on that day. With the resources that we have available to us, energy, time, all the things, we're giving the best effort. That's not what this is.
No, this is about responsibility, taking responsibility for everything in your life. And I love how you say that can be jarring to hear. Yeah. Like you are 100, wherever you are in your life, you are 100% responsible for the circumstances that you are experiencing and living in right now.
Yeah.
And I would say there have been times in my life where if you had told me that, I would not have loved to hear it.
No, I would have wanted to punch you in the face or something,
Yeah.
right? Like you hear someone tell you that and it's like, initially, it's jarring. I don't love
the economy sucks. The housing prices.
I'm where I am and I don't love it. And who can I blame?
Yeah.
That's way easier. The reality is, though, the external circumstance we have no control over. The only thing you can control is your actions within that environment. You can play the victim and you can just blame and you'll get nowhere. Mm-hmm. Or you can take the bull by the horns and try to make a change and figure out how to navigate and play within this system or in this environment that you're in. And initially, I did not like that.
Mm-mm. And it goes to what we talked about a few weeks ago, in that that's where the only power that exists is in your responsibility. If everything is not your fault, if you can point fingers and blame everyone and everything else around you for where you are, then you're essentially saying, I have zero control over my life. Yeah. Nothing that happens, I have any control over. And none of us want to feel like we are out of control in our own life. And I say none of us. I know I don't. I love to have control.
I think most people are not looking to be out of control in their life.
The only place you have control is in what you are responsible for. When I turned 30, I did not love turning 30. I felt like I was behind. I did not love where I was in my life. And if you had told me that you are responsible for where you are, I would have punched you in the throat.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have actually, but I would have wanted to. I would have been real pissed with that.
You would have
and
been
wanted
resentful about it.
Yeah, point fingers and cast blame and do all the things. But it's not wrong.
It's not. And as jarring as it is and as uncomfortable as it is to hear that, or at least was for me when I first heard it, on second thought of that, it really is empowering. It's like, oh, okay, well, then that means it's all within me to change.
Mm-hmm.
So from here on out, let's do things a little differently, because this isn't
working for me.
This isn't where I want to be. I want to be over there. So how do I get there?
If I want something different, I have to do something different. I want to have a different relationship. I want to have a different business. I want to have a different health outcome. I want to have a different fill in the blank. I then have to do something different because I'm responsible for where I am. It's simple. It's not an easy concept to adopt because I think we're all very comfortable in playing the victim sometimes and blaming other people for what's going on, blaming circumstances for what's going on, but you've got no control over that. I love how the chapter ends actually with instead of playing tug of war, you're rocket fuel for each other and for your life. And it reminds me, and I should have looked it up, it reminds me of, what do they say about Clydesdales? You know, a single Clydesdale can pull like 800 pounds or something. I'm going to have the numbers wrong.
But multiples.
But two Clydesdales do 3,200 or something.
Yeah.
Like it's orders of magnitude more by having two. So instead of you two kind of pulling in opposite directions, when you both start going the same way, it's not just like 1 + 1 = 2.
It's exponential.
1 + 1 is infinity.
To infinity and beyond, one might say. That's such a good point. Really what it comes down to is just owning your shit. You know what I mean? You are where you are. The quicker you just own that and make the decision to change it if you don't like it, the quicker you're going to get to the place you do want to be.
Because the only way to get from where you are to where you want to be is by acknowledging where you actually are. Like, if you're trying to get somewhere, so like, let's say you want to go from Chicago to LA, but you're not actually starting in Chicago. You put Chicago in the GPS, but you're actually in Dallas. How likely is it that you're going to get to LA, to this, whatever it is that you want, this relationship of your dreams, this dream business, this health situation? If that's your outcome, where you're driving for, but you don't actually acknowledge where you're starting from, you're not going to get to where you need to go. So you need to take responsibility for where you are in the situation that you're in. And that gives you all the power to change to get you where you want to go.
Basically what it comes down to, just own your shit.
Own your shit. And it's not easy, but it's really important.
That's it for this week. Join us next week on the 200% Marriage Podcast when we read chapter 8.
What's it called?
We're getting into an interesting story about how we got into a situation while we were in Russia.
This is the Russian cab story.
Russian Cab Confession.
Ooh.
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8. Love it.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on this week's briefing. If this episode hit a nerve, don't let your momentum die.
Head over to the 200percentmarriage.com/unstoppable team to take the Unstoppable Team audit. Find out exactly where your domestic drag is hiding so you can start optimizing your team today.
And if you love the show, share it with another power couple who refuses to settle for fine. Because a 200% life is better with a community.
See you on the next adventure.
Road of life, yes, you are.